Good evening, folks. I've got discussion B for you tonight. We're discussing 15 truths about aging, mental health, and self care no one talks about. Okay? Um, Explores lesser discussed aspects of growing older. Here are some key takeaways. Okay, number one, aging affects mental health and self care in subtle, often surprising ways, not just physical decline. Too many people struggle with unexpected emotional shifts, loneliness, or a loss of identity as they age. 3. Self care becomes more crucial, but also more complex, often requiring uh, revelation of hobbies, no, revelation of habits and priorities. 4. Society tends to downplay or ignore the mental health challenges of aging, leaving people unprepared for them. Okay. Next page. 5. There is a need for greater awareness, compassion, and honest dialogue. Without the realities of aging, would you like a deeper dive into any of the specific truths? The article mentioned this. This feels right up your alley, especially with your focus on the often unspoken layers of aging and well being. Absolutely. The article points to emotional shifts that often speak up or sneak up on people as they age, less tied to uh, less tied to physical decline and more to evolving identity and social context. Here are a few layers it hints at. Less loss of identity or purpose. Many people feel untethered after retirement, children leaving home, or loss of a or the loss of roles they once found meaningful that can stir hold on up feelings of invisibility or even worthlessness, unexpected loneliness. Even with family nearby, older adults can still feel isolated, especially if appears have passed, moved away, or if mobility and sensory issues limit engagement. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. Emotional, flattering, or unpredictability. Some find themselves either numb or unexpectedly tearful. This may be related to hormonal shifts, accelerated grief, or neuro uh, cognitive changes. Increased introspection and revelation. Aging often prompts deep reflection about past choices, regrets, and the legacy one leaves behind, which can both grounding and uh, destabilizing. What struck me is how these emotional tides are often downplayed or uh, misinterpreted as more moodiness when their reality signals calling for support and revelation of self care. Would you like to explore how these emotional transitions intersect with mental health or caregiving strategies? It could tie uh, beautifully into your interest in holistic aging and person-centered planning. That's a powerful question, and one that speaks to your thoughtful, person-centered approach. Emotional well-being in older adults often heightens more on connection and meaning than tend to assume. Here are some caregiving strategies that can gently support the inner Tarrant. 1. Reinforce identity and purpose. To engage in storytelling, hobbies, or roles that connect the person to their past achievements and passions. Even small acts like asking for advice or involving them in decision making can restore sense of agency 3. Foster meaningful social connections. Go beyond casual check-ins, structured group activities, intergenerational visits, or shared uh, rituals like weekly movie nights can rekindle joy and uh, and and reduce loneliness. 4. Normalize emotional expression. Create space for sadness, frustration, or um, nostalgia without rushing to fix it. Validation. That makes a lot of sense. You'd feel that way can be more healing than okay. 5. Integrate spiritual or philosophical reflection. Many older adults find grounding in reflecting on life's meaning, whether through faith, poetry, nature walks, or guided journaling. This in this inward journey can better buffer against despair. Adapt the care environment. Subtle adjustments like softer lighting, cherished objects, music, or scent can provide sensory comfort and invoke calm or positive memories. 7. Support their caregiver. 2. The emotional well-being of the caregiver ripples outward. Regular respite, peer support, and emotional coaching ensure care isn't given from a depleted place. You might find this intersects beautifully with your exploration near death reflections and caregiving burnout. Would you like to look at how these strategies might be adapted for people with cognitive decline or terminal illnesses? I think there is a rich ground there for your systematic thinking. Absolutely, this is such an important piece of the care eco- ecosystem, and one that's too often overlooked, even through its ripple effects. Even though its ripple effects touch everything from patient outcomes to workforce stability, Caregiver burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged and intense caregiving demands, especially when support is lacking. It doesn't just mean being tired. It can mean chronic fatigue even after rest. Emotional numbness or heightened irritability, feelings of guilt, uh, resentment, or helplessness, impaired concentration, sleep issues, or physical symptoms like headaches or digestive problems. Over time, burnout can erode empathy, leading to deeper personalization. A caregiver might uh, begin seeing the person they care for not as a loved one or human in need, but as a set of tasks or burdens. That shift isn't because they don't care, it's a coping mechanism when their emotional uh, bandwidth is mixed or maxed out, the impacts ripple outward. Quality of care declines. Burned out caregivers may miss medications, skip appointments, or withdraw emotionally. Patient well being suffers. Loved ones can sense uh, detachment, which exacerbates loneliness or agitation, especially in those with cognitive impairments. Folks, when you burn out from caring for somebody, take 5. Don't show it to your client that you are burning out with their care. Um, Step away from them for 15, 10 or 15 minutes. Take a break. Okay. Um, let's see. Healthcare systems feel the strain. Increased emergency visits, hospitalizations, or premature institutionalization becomes more likely. Caregivers' own health deteriorates. Their high their higher risk of depression, anxiety, chronic illness, and even early mortality. Okay. Given your deep interest in systematic reforms and ethical caregiving, burnout isn't just a personal crisis. It's a structural failure. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Gotta straighten them up. Okay. Would you like to explore innovative supports for caregivers like emotional coaching, peer networks, or even, let's see, tech enabled respite solutions? I think you'd appreciate some of these emerging models in self directed care. Let's dig in. There are some powerful strategies, both practical and philosophical, philosophical, that can ease the intense weight caregivers often carry. Here are some Here are some that align with your holistic and systems, uh, holistic and systems oriented uh, perspectives. Person, personal, personal resilience strategies. Micro restoring, tiny intentional movements or pulse like these deep breathing between tasks, a minute of sunlight or mindful slip of tea can be mindful sip of tea can be surprisingly restorative over time. That's what I mean, guys. When you are burnt out as a caregiver, ask your client if you can have 5 or 10 minutes to yourself to recharge. Don't show them that you are burning out, because believe me, I've seen it where people burn out in front of their clients, and then the poor client has to let them go out of the house because they can't function anymore as a caregiver. So take 5 when you need it, or 10 or 15 minutes. Okay. Next one, boundary setting. Boundary setting. Saying yes to everything leads to depletion. Learning to say no or not right now is a form of long term care for both yourself and the person you're helping. Grief literacy, recognizing ambiguous loss, i.e., e.g., grieving a loved one's grieving a loved one's cognitive decline while they're still alive, and giving it space. Emotionally uh, proactive, structural and communal supports, respite care, whether through formal programs or informal networks. Regular breaks are essential, not a luxury. Without them, burnout is almost inevitable. Peer support groups, sharing experiences with others who get it. Okay. Give me a minute, guys. I have to straighten these. Reduce isolation and normalcy. Normalize difficult emotions. Online or local chapters like those through Alzheimer's organizations can be lifelines. Skill-based emotional coaching. Programs like Reach or mindfulness training help caregivers reframe stress, regulate overwhelm feelings, and improve their own well-being. Innovation and policy levers. Self-directed care models. These allow greater choice in hiring, scheduling, and service design, which empowers both the caregiver and the recipient. Technology assisted respites, devices that detect safety issues, medications. Hold on. Dispensers and check-ins platforms can provide brief but crucial peace of mind. Advocacy and compensation. Fighting for caregiver stipends, tax credits, or expanded Medicaid waiver helps validate the economic and social value of caregiving. Burnout isn't just about exhaustion, it's about feeling tapped and unseen at its heart. Alleviating it requires structural compassion systems that adapt to caregivers' realities, not the other way around. Would you like to sketch out what a sustainable support system might look like for informal caregivers? It could be a great bridge into your ongoing work on moral injury. Okay, last page, guys. And healthcare reform. Let's build that future together. Now, in person in care settings, depending on whether you are self-directed or agency is more structured, gives you more rules, where self-directed care, where your client can hire and fire you as aides. When we have more control over our services, have more say so in what happens, we can be more personal, more flexible toward our caregivers. And so that's why I chose to do This is discussion B tonight. I hope it helps some people with their burnout issues or aggravation issues. I hope this gives somebody some pointers about, how to handle those kind of things so that clients don't feel the brunt of what happens when their caregiver has a meltdown. I've seen it too many times to not say something. So this is my way of supporting caregivers. I will help you guys get tools to use so it doesn't happen to anybody else's people that take care of them. So, this is my contribution to society, to the caregiver crisis. So, with that being said, I hope this video has helped some people understand both sides, the client plus caregiver side of care, because as a client, you have to see both sides. And as a caregiver, you have to see when your client burns out from people too. So, with that being said, Gator Wellness, take care, folks.